Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
To right. He's in. Patriots win the Super Bowl. Brady has his 5th. What a comeback.
This is All Eyes on the Pats podcast.
Welcome to All Eyes on the Pats podcast. I'm your host, Steve Atkinson, and I'm literally just going to not break down the game today of the Patriots loss to the Miami Dolphins 20-7. I'm not going to do a play-by-play because that's boring. I kind of want to start with the preseason and how, because I haven't done a podcast in a while, I think since May, I want to say, before, training camp started and then preseason. So we didn't really know who was calling the plays. Now we know who's calling the plays. Matt Patricia's calling the plays. Joe Judge is quarterbacks coach. Bill Belichick's involved in the offense too. But there's guys on this team on the offensive line that are not buying in, and it's going to get Mac Jones killed. And I want to touch on that first. You have Trent Brown tweeting at in Las Vegas that he doesn't want to be here. He wants to get the F out of here, and he's probably talking about Vegas. But after today, you're going to get Mac Jones fucking killed, Bill. I mean, Isaiah Wynn and Trent Brown don't want to be there. And then you have Cole Strange, your rookie offensive lineman, who's going to obviously make rookie mistakes. You got James Ferentz, who came in, but if you guys don't have guys that buy in, like Trent Brown he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there. You're going to get Mac hurt. Now he has a back injury. Why does he have a back injury? Because your offensive line blows. It is worse this year than it was last year, because last year you had Scarnecchia, you had Josh McDaniels, you had structure, you had a purpose. Now this year, Bill has taken that, and he's like, okay, we'll just put it all together, and I take ownership, and it's my team, and I got to do this, and it all goes back to Tom, because God forbid, he has a coaching staff that knows what they're doing, because then it's like, well, he needed help, and Brady just went to a team and did it himself, so Bill thinks he can do it himself. Because he's like that. This is all stemming back to Tom. You know that for a fact. That's why he doesn't have an offensive coordinator. That's why he doesn't have an offensive line coach. Matt Patricia can't coach the offensive line and call the plays with help from Bill. If the offense fails, it falls on Bill. It doesn't fall on Patricia and Judge. He brought those two bozos in here. They failed as head coaches. We've been over this. You've heard it probably every day on the Sports Hub. They failed. Joe Judge failed with the Lions. Matt Patricia failed with the Giants. We've been through this, right? So for Bill to say, okay, well, it falls on me, and now your offensive line doesn't believe in itself because they don't have a coach. It's a defensive guy who went to offense. Your quarterback is hurt, and you don't know if he's going to be able to play next Sunday. Regardless if he plays or not, the likelihood of you beating the Steelers is slim to none. Secondly, your number one best wide receiver isn't out there for 3 quarters. He's not out there until the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. And the game is pretty much done. And he gets a 14-yard gain. 1 target, 1 play. Kendrick Bourne. What the fuck did he do? Oh, that's right. He got into a fist fight in a training camp joint practice with Carolina 3 weeks ago. Okay. So, the games count now, though, Bill. Get over it. Get over it. He's your number 1 receiver. It's not Parker. By the way, that was pass interference in the first play, the first drive. It's not Devontae Parker. It's Kendrick Bourne. He was your number 1 last year. It's a discipline thing. Because Bill doesn't like it that he got into a fist fight 3 weeks ago, so he's holding it against him in a regular season game. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And that's bullshit. He should be out there. He doesn't need to be Malcolm Butlered. He doesn't need to be Malcolm Butlered. He's your number 1 target. Jacoby Myers shouldn't be getting all the reps in the plays. And Nelson Aguilar. It's the beginning of the season. You have to start off on the right foot. And it honestly, it looked okay in the first drive. But then the non-pass interference call after that, it was like Tua is not a good quarterback. He sucks. He sucks. S-U-C-K-S. Sucks. And you still beat yourself. He's not a good quarterback, Tua. He's really not. Mac Jones is 10 times better than Tua. He's not good. He's not good. If they don't have Tyreek Hill, they're fucked. Okay? They're fucked. Tyreek Hill is the only one that was making plays, and that's pretty much the Patriots. That's the only player they really had to stop was Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was a main factor in that game. That's all you had to stop, really. I mean, Waddle too, but Tyreek Hill is your number 1. That's who fucking Tua was going to. That's all they had to stop, and they couldn't stop him. So, the Patriots beat themselves today. They beat themselves. They really have no one to blame for this loss but themselves. And Bill, after the game, isn't Bill when Brady was here. He's much more calm. He's like, well, it was only 1 or 2 plays, and if they do this or that, like, he doesn't seem to be that concerned. But to have, Mac Jones get an X-ray and then, not speak to the media after the game is a little like, okay, now you're just hiding the fact that you don't want the questions to be asked. What happened? Is it because of the offensive line breakdown? And that is why he got hurt, because those stupid guys don't want to be there. Trent Brown, Isaiah Wynn, they just don't. And the Patriots don't have a explosive person on offense either, right? I mean, besides Kendrick Bourne, they kind of don't. They really don't. I mean, Devontae Parker's new, so maybe he's still getting acclimated. But yeah, they need a number. Devontae Parker isn't a number 1. He's supposed to be, but maybe it was supposed to be Bourne. And then Aguilar looks like beat Bourne in the preseason. But then Bourne gets into a fist fight, and we're still holding it against him. And then when Bill's asked at the end of the game, is Bourne not playing because of disciplinary actions? And Bill says, no, that's bullshit. Of course it is. You're mad because he got into a fist fight 3 weeks ago. Who gives a shit? It's the regular season now. Why do you gotta be Malcolm Butlered? I don't understand why he has to be Malcolm Butler. The Patriots are going to be, they could be 0-4 at the beginning of the season. They could. I mean, the coaching staff is a mess. The players aren't buying in. And if the players don't buy in, if Mac Jones doesn't buy in, it's not going to work. The offensive line doesn't buy in. Even if Mac does buy in, that O-line does not. Those two guys in the end, Brown and Wynn, they don't care. They don't want to be there. They want to get the fuck out. They don't want to be there. They're all done. So they don't want to be there. What's the point? You know? What's the point of having those guys on the team if they don't want to be there? I mean, you know, who are you going to get that's better? You know? The one couple of positives you could take from this game, you know, besides Mac Jones. Mac Jones was fine. I mean, he didn't, you know, he got blindsided on one play because Trent Brown gave up. He got a sack because Cole Strange got a rookie mistake. A few other things. But he's not the problem. It's the coaching. It's the offensive line. That's the problem. That is the problem. The one other positive you could take from this game is Kyle Duggar looks really good. That's a good draft pick. That's really good. He's good. Made some good plays today. But Trent Brown, man, he needs to. He's just like, he's gone, man. He's he wants Dante Scarnecchia. If Scarnecchia was here, it would be a different case. If they had an offensive line coach, it would be a different case. They don't like Matt Patricia. Matty P, they call him. They don't. They don't like Matt Patricia. And you know, you had the opportunity to get a Bill O'Brien here or some guy that knows the offense here, but it fell through because you don't have the buy-in, because they don't. So when Bill had Brady, people bought in because they won a Super Bowl, but they had a better team too, and they had an offensive coordinator. This is the first time that Bill Belichick, who has coached the Patriots, has not had an offensive coordinator coaching the Patriots. He didn't have one in Cleveland either. When Brady got here, it was Charlie Weiss. It was structure. Josh McDaniels, Bill O'Brien, Josh McDaniels. Now, he's switching it up and doing Joe Judge, special teams, offensive coordinator. And then Matt Patricia from defense to offense, but he worked with offensive line before, but he's the O-line coach plus the play caller. I don't see how that's a good structure for your second-year quarterback, even if he can play, because there's no offensive mind on there. Bill's defense, Matt Patricia's defense, Joe Judge's special teams. What offensive coach do you have? The only one you got is Brian Hoyer. Now, I did say a few months ago, it may not matter who your offensive coordinator is as long as Mac Jones can make the plays itself. If Mac Jones can make plays by himself, if he can change the play at the line and not listen to Fat Matty P, you're fine. You're fine. And he was doing that. He was changing the play in the first drive. It was a great first drive, except for the fucking interception that was a pass interference. But it was great. It was great. He did good. He was able to change the plays, and that is what he should be doing consistently. Because that will buy in. That will gradually improve, hopefully. But they have to start off on the right foot. They can't, throw a pick and then get behind early. Now you're catching up. It's like last year. They can't score in the red zone. They have a hard time. They get in the red zone and they're either settling for 3 or they have a turnover. I fucking knew it when Mac was going down the field. I just had a feeling that he was going to fucking throw it. That the ball was going to get tipped or something, or an interception. And sure enough, he goes to Parker. It was pass interference all day, but he got fucking tipped and it was picked off. Of course it was. Of course it was. So it's not. Hey, he's not Drew Bledsoe. He's. This isn't the '90s Patriots. Although I was young and I wouldn't even remember the '90s Patriots, but yeah, I don't see how this team can be successful with the structure around the Mac Jones. I don't see it. I don't. So, having said that, I am going to do like 15, 16, this is now, so I'm at 1640 podcasts after Patriots games, I feel like. Because, we can kind of gather through the week, the information that comes out, and then after the games I'll do a podcast for 15, 20 minutes or whatever it is. And then talk about the game, talk about the week. And hopefully next week is better than this week, but the way it's going, I don't see it. I don't see the Patriots beating Pittsburgh. I don't see the Patriots beating Baltimore. And then I don't see the Patriots going to Green Bay and beating Green Bay. Worst case scenario, 2-2. If you go 0-4, God help you. You'll beat the Lions and the Browns in October. There's your 2 wins. You may win 4 games. I said 9-8 before. I don't know, man. I don't know. You'll be lucky to win 6 games. But having said that, I'm going to call it a night. Tampa Bay is playing at 8:20 tonight. So go Brady and the Bucks, even though he's about to get divorced. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a great week.